Hello, my friend. This is Enrique Sanchez from Global Premium Cigars. And, thank you for listening. And we are here in Final Third Cigars.
Coming to you from the award-winning Final Third Cigar and Whiskey Lounge, PCA's 2024 Best of Leaf Midwest Cigar Bar, Indiana's exclusive Aladino Cigar Lounge. It's the Final Third Podcast.
Welcome back to the Final Third Podcast. I'm Rob.
I'm Mike, and we have another guest with us. It's like we always have guests with us nowadays, right?
Yeah.
I kind of like this theme.
I do too.
I like it. So, Rob, who do we have with us today?
This is a very special guest. I think I've met you for the first time at PCA in person. We've talked on the phone before, but this is Enrique from Global Premium Cigars and from 1502 Cigars.
1502.
He is the master blender. He's the owner of the brand. He is the guy.
Well, thank you, Rob. Thank you, Mike, for having me here. To be honest, let me correct you many things here.
Okay, thank you.
I'm not the owner. I'm not the master blender. I'm just a face behind the brand.
Okay.
All that will be my wife. Like any happy marriage. She owns everything.
I understand completely.
And she makes me work, and she pays me in cigars, so I'm good. That's
so
good
you have a similar.
That sounds very similar. Yeah. I like that.
The only way I get paid is cigars and bourbon right now. So
see, my wife goes to work and pays me with letting me be at home to take care of everything else.
Yeah.
That's how I get paid.
Yeah,
so.
in my case, we're still negotiating the part, but
Yeah.
I get paid in doing the dishes. I have to do it.
Yeah.
That's how I get paid. So
I have to cook and do the dishes too. So that's
we have a lot in common already.
Besides the cigars.
Absolutely. Well, we'll dig into the brand a little bit more here as we get going. Today, we're all going to be kind of smoking a grab bag of different things from 1502. I grabbed the blue sapphire.
Same.
And Mike did too. And then Enrique, what are you smoking today?
Ooh, I'm enjoying 1502 Nicaragua.
Nicaragua.
Interesting. Everybody grabbed something from puro Nicaraguense. 100% Nicaraguan. So you got the blue, and I got the white. What happens when you put blue, white, and blue together? Does anybody knows that?
I do now because you just told us, but you tell everybody.
Okay, it's true. You make our Nicaraguan flag. Yes.
Nice.
If you've been in my country, Nicaragua, you will know our flag is blue, white, and blue. And the definition of that one is that we are between the two of the greatest oceans, Atlantic and Pacific, and in the middle is the white, in which represents purity. That's Nicaragua.
Oh, awesome. That's great, man. Yes. So we'll go ahead and get lit up here, and I'll tell you what else lit up. Hey, speaking of lit up,
we're gonna get lit up.
Go ahead and drink too. We're gonna have some of our Peach Street pick we had here. We always like to share some of our barrel picks with our guests that come on that aren't from around here. So you get at least try some of the whiskeys that you may not be able to try anywhere else.
I'm a fan of these.
When you said try a little bit, you actually just saying a little bit. You said no,
all you want.
All right.
If this bottle's killed by the time we're done, that's fine too. So
all right,
and pour as much as you want, and then we'll pass her along too. So
Scott's favorite thing to say is, "I don't think you understand how much I really drink." So
yeah,
it's okay.
Well, we all have family, kids, and everything, so we understand that we need our adult Birchberry, if you want to call it.
Yeah. So I really like these packages, Rob. I don't know if you notice at the bottom it has the strength from 1 through 5 on there. I'm looking at that like it's like a tax strip or something, and I'm like, that looks like a barcode. And then you said it was 4 out of 5, and I was like, that's the strength. That's pretty cool.
That is
so
cool.
I like the packaging because it kind of gives you the rundown of like the wrapper, the binder, and the filler. Yes. And then at the bottom there, it has your strength level.
You had the
I really like that.
You got a QR, you got the barcode. At the top, you had the pistola over there. So yes, we came up with this idea, and it's one of the few patents you're going to see in the industry, because when you put all 4 together, you have 4 angles, so you far away you can see our logo. That now is protected; nobody else can use it. So that's one of the unique things. And the problem that we had, and the reason that I came out with the idea, is a few years ago when I'm doing one of my European tours, is that I couldn't find my cigars because in Europe, normally the humidors are smaller. They take everything outside of the boxes and they put it in the shelf.
Sure.
And then I'm there trying to look for my cigars and find that little bend, and sometimes it's not that much brighter. So it was tough. So it's like, okay, a second. So everything that we create with the boxes, the beautiful and everything here is completely destroyed. I mean, the concept. So that's why I say, okay, let me find a way that not only it protects the cigar, which is the most important part of it, but also it has the brand awareness and has the recognitions. And now we see it every time you go to a party or any place, the first people that actually see that are the ladies. They're like, oh my God, what is this? It's like, no, it's not lipstick, but let me show you. It's a cigar. And they're like, wow.
Yeah.
Like, well, I'm glad you're happy. Because they look phenomenal.
Yeah, and we were talking about earlier, the nice thing about this is it is more sustainable with the environment. You don't have to send out one box, and then the refills can come in the magazines where you can actually refill them. I like that idea because, I mean, I'm not one of those shops that sell boxes. I give them away, and they stack up, and they stack up, and they stack up. Luckily, a lot of our people still like getting free boxes, so they still take them. But I've seen a lot of shops that have hundreds and hundreds of boxes sitting around. I'm like, that's a shame because, I mean, it's artwork. I mean, each one of those boxes is artwork, and I hate throwing them away.
Yeah.
But a lot of people have to. This way we don't have to, and we can just order the refills, and that's great. So I appreciate that.
But, Roberto, not only that, I mean, you think about all those 100 boxes outside. Those could be 3. They used to be 3s. And you know what? Let's save that our earth. I mean, we do have a responsibility to be a part of this globe. We might as well just take the best care of it as possible. And those like you say, you buy the wooden boxes, recycle, just get the magazines, put it inside, and we develop a system in which it's easier to implement. Just put it in that's what we call magazines. We put it like a magazines, and it stays perfectly still until you take the wrapper off. And not only that, it's that the carton boxes, it's a lot easier to recycle.
Yeah.
And we are trying to insist that you do that recycle those things. Put in the recycle bins. So it's always continue.
Yeah.
Love it.
That is great. I like that. So so tell us a little bit about your journey. So correct me if I'm wrong. Were you joking, or you are not the master blender?
Well, I mean,
you are involved in the blending process. I know that much.
I do the blending.
Yes.
But I would not like to consider myself a master blender.
I got you.
Master blender into today it's a very interesting concept. I think Star Wars had a lot to do with that. Master Jedi, Master Blender, all those masters. But in the end, a master blender, in my perspective, it's no different as Alchemist. Somebody that changed the raw materials or watch the changes of raw material during the process to make sure of every time that you try one of our cigars, it's always impeccable, exactly the same as the other productions. And that's one of the key things. Now, master blender is somebody that works a lot more, also is very knowledgeable in the fields and is taking care of each of the process.
Okay.
That normally is not my job. My job is to create the blend.
Gotcha.
With them, and then I could throw the ball to them once we decide if that's the correct blend. Now it's your job to duplicate it and maintain the consistency over the years of production.
Okay, that's a great distinction.
Yeah, that's
I never knew
different.
that.
Yeah.
Let me always put example. We all love music.
Yeah.
Let me put it so: I will be the composer. You will be the director of the symphony. And that's the idea. I mean that.
Yeah.
So do I consider my? No, of course not. I mean those are people more into that part of the aspect. Watching every part of the change reaction of everything. Imagine a lot more rain. That's going to affect the raw material. A lot more sun this year compared to last year. That would definitely. So they had to be playing with the atmosphere of what I said that beautiful Mother Earth have given us, like heat, weather, all those things, to make sure that every time they do the job correctly. And that's their part of it.
Yeah, like how wind plays into crops and stuff. Could change the way that your leaves are grown. And
of course.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Well, cool.
Yeah, it's a little different way to think about that. I guess not a lot of people talk about the different like positions that there are, the different, like the master blender or, just the blender. Or
Well,
the
we talk about
creator,
that
like,
a lot also on the distillery side. There are, like we have a distillery down the road here called Moondrops, and the head distiller right now does not have the master title yet. And the reason why is because he's distilling, he knows what he's doing a great job, but until his stuff ages out,
Yeah.
and then they start seeing the product down the road, the master title's not there. And he totally understands that and he agrees with it. And I'm like, I like that process more than someone that just gets hired
giving it
on
to
and says,
him.
"Here you
Yeah.
go, you're a master distiller," and
Right.
it's like, "Oh, I'm brand new to this,"
Master
I like that.
Jedi.
Yeah, exactly.
So he right now is a John Padawan, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly.
pilot.
Yeah.
It's
Cool.
interesting when we're talking about this concept because everybody asks me about the thing. I mean, because how do you come up with the blends? How you the blend process? Are you master blender? Are you blender? Or all those normal questions that we all think about it. And to be honest, it's I would say that there's two type of blender in this industry. One, it will be the corporate blender, in which they're very knowledgeable about even the field. I mean, how the process and each of the process. But when they blend for a specific market. And let's say if they're gonna make a cigar for Mexico, everybody knows the Mexican they love their spice. So make sure they have a little bit of the kick on the spice, so the market is happy about it. And then you have the other one in which I do consider myself in the part of the group, more the artistic blenders that we start with an inspiration.
Yeah.
And from that inspiration, we develop everything into whatever you try in the market. And we guarantee you that that's the best alternative that's going to be there for the inspiration itself. I mean, just to give you an example, 51 Nicaragua, the one I'm enjoying right now.
Yeah.
Where did I get my inspiration from that one? Especially when my wife told me she was pregnant for Enrique Fernando, my youngest one. Well, he's 10 years from now. But in that time, I was like, oh my God, okay, I'm going to be a father. After I got out from falling backwards, and I said, okay, what am I going to do? Because of course, I have to make a cigar. It has to be a blend. First of all, puro nicaragüense. Because it has to be, because so my kid does not forget his root. My wife was born in Nicaragua. I was born and raised in Nicaragua as well. My kid was born in Miami. It's the closest point to the United States. After that, everybody is part of the United States. I was kidding. But anyways, I want to create something that he never forget his root, puro nicaragüense. So that's one of the things. Okay, now let's work to the next idea. It can not only be a puro nicaragüense, but it has to be all representative of Nicaragua. So all four major regions or the main region of the we grow tobacco, Nicaragua, has to be in the blend. So it has to be Jalapa, Condega, Esteli, and the beautiful island from Ometepe. Okay. By the way, Ometepe just got one of the volcanoes, Madera, got eruption last week.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Interesting. Well, nature.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the other thing is like, okay, and then none of the regions actually can be standing out. It has to be Nicaragua as one. And that's when my inspiration came for that one. So it was, I think, like 18 months after when I think it was his baptized. In Nicaragua, we are very small family. So between close family and the very close friends, we were around 250 people. And in there, was my cigar basket, and was 51 to Nicaragua. The first time they show it to the world what we were creating. And everybody go and grab it and start smoking it. And like, hey, guys, wait a second. I have to wait another 6 months for that production actually to be in the market. So please leave me some behind. So that was the first time. And I had for the first production, I had 3 boxes.
Yeah.
Because we have, Solena and I, we have 3 kids, Alejandro, Antonio, and Enrique Fernando. So whenever one of them are 21, we're going to be opening one of those boxes. And we're going to see how it goes. But everything starts with inspiration. And that's the point of it. The corporate blender, master blender, whatever it is, they think of a market. I think of something that's never have been discovered, but is waiting to be showing the light, or especially the lighter, if you want to put it in a better perspective. So, and that's my job, to find it. I make sure that you guys enjoy it.
Yeah.
I love that. That's
awesome. That is awesome, man. So let's back all the way up here. So what got you into tobacco? Is this a family heritage? Tell us a little of the story about where you started, how you got going here.
Oh boy, here it comes a curveball again. We're for a curveball
And you don't have
today.
to share if you don't want to. That's fine.
No. I like to share. Especially to keep drinking
Oh, yeah.
this bourbon. I'll be sharing a lot more. Not my financial statements, but that's
No,
fine.
that's all right. That's all right.
That's okay. I won't share mine either.
Hey, I will say Mike's financial statements. He did make $5 on Facebook last year.
I did.
He's
Cheers.
all over it.
Yeah.
There you go. See, cheers
I'm
for that one.
I'm a content
Cheers,
creator now.
buddy.
I made $5 on Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're the guy.
That's a lot more than what I made in Facebook.
Same here.
I said, yeah, I can't quite quit my full-time job yet, but I can buy like one Tata scan.
Yeah.
So, like, I can do that. At least.
Oh yeah,
So-
yeah.
So yeah, tell us a little bit about
you.
what got you into tobacco, and tell us
Well,
more about you.
Interesting. My first experience with cigar, I was smoking cigars back then. I was in high school, but my first experience with cigar was in La Antorcha, the Madrid train station. That was in 1991, if I'm not mistaken.
It's a good year.
So, and they're waiting for the train to go to Barcelona or Toledo. I can't remember which one was it. But sitting down, watching all the gentlemen passing by smoking the cigars, and I'm like, you know what? Why not? Let's give it a try. I'm here in Europe. I mean, I don't have my parents next to me, I'm with the backpacking and going everywhere. I go to the tobacco place, la tabaqueria outside the train station, and ask for the cheapest cigar they have in the house. Now, you have to be in consideration, I was in high school budget.
Right.
Either have a good cigar or have a very cheap meal next day. So, I got the cheapest cigar there's in the house. I went back to my chair, and they're trying to light the cigar. It was impossible to light it. It was the worst draw ever. I would try and after a while I said, you know what? This is not for me. And I threw it away. So a year after, I remember I was in my house in Managua. My uncle Jose Loy commencing with Romeo Julieta Churchill from Cuba. And I said, what the hell, let's give it a second chance. Maybe I didn't get that right one. And he's like, you know how to light it. You know how to cut it. Huh? Yes, how to cut it. Huh? Oh, maybe that was the issue with the draw back in Spain. But anyways, he told me how to do it, and I did inhale a couple of times. So smoking cigarettes. If I was just about the same concept, it was definitely not. So when you see the flying pigs going, or the blue devils walking by, and it must be the cigar.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So, and then after that, I started learning about how to enjoy cigars. I had a lot of friends from Cuba, from my father. It's friends, and they used to give me, every time they come back to Nicaragua from the island, they also bring me a lot of Cubans. Especially I remember the Cohiba Lancero with the cellophane on it. That was early 90s.
Yeah.
I mean, and I used to have boxes of those in my room. I mean, I go to high school with my cigar always in my pocket and smoking my cigars, and they always kick me out because that thing stink. Well, get out of here. The 30-something years after, all my friends come back to my house to look for the cigars. Great. Only took them a little while. But anyways, I'm there. So cigars always been part of me. Always been enjoying cigars at an early age. And then I got a meeting with Don Nestor Plasencia. He was actually the one that pushed me to the industry.
Wow.
And I was in the meeting, I remember I wanted to do some brokering with tobacco, not cigars, tobacco itself. And he listened to me for like 20-something minutes. And after that, he's like, but Enrique, I already do that. So I don't need you for that. And I'm trying to convince him, trying to do my Ricky Ricardo charm and everything. And he's like, no, don't waste your time. Don't waste my time. It's not going to go anywhere. And I'm like, okay, well, at least I try. So, and he turned the table on me. He's like, why don't you make your own cigars? I'm like, no, come on. I like to smoke everybody's cigars. It's I don't have the ego to it. He's like, no, because and he threw me a very good speech, and a good sales speech, and to this day, I still keep that speech in my mind. So he tells me, Enrique, there are so many people taking pride of our Nicaraguan product. People from the United States, from India, Asia in general, Europe, everywhere. But you don't see no Nicaraguans. Like, you are true Nicaraguan. Your family been living here for over 200 years. You were born and raised. You love your country. You have passion for your country. And you love cigars. If you can combine both of them, there's a competitive advantage nobody can take away from you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's a beautiful sales pitch. And sure, he's just wanted to sell a lot more cigars, that's no doubt. and they're still debating. And he's very humble. He tells me, Enrique, give me a chance.
Yeah.
Okay, now when that happens, it's like somebody slap you in the face. Like Godfather telling you, I'm going to give you pieces you can't refuse. Well, something like that is what happens. Now I cannot say no.
Yeah.
I should be the one in my knees asking him for a chance. But he was so humble to tell me. So in my mind, I was living in Nicaragua at the time. In my mind, I was like, what's the worst can happen? I'm going to come here. I'm going to learn about tobacco because I had no idea. I've been smoking cigar for quite a while, but smoking cigars, knowing tobacco, or even worse, blending the tobacco is completely another atmosphere. So, and if it doesn't work, at least I'm going to smoke a lot of cigars.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's a win-win situation. I don't know who's we, but at least I win. So, and that's how we got started.
Okay.
And the first 3 blends that we created was 1502 Emerald, 1502 Ruby, and 1502 Black Gold. I was blown away for what we created. And that's how Global Premium Cigars, or GPC, got started.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, and I don't know if I've ever told you the story of how I found your brand, but I was in South Carolina and I went out there and there was a cigar shop out there called The Cigar Shop.
Uh-huh.
We always like to shout out those shops. Great shop. Love those guys. But they had the Black Gold out there on the tables on sale. I'm like, I've never seen this before. So I bought one, went back to the hotel, smoked it, went back, bought the rest of the box they had. And then I think at that point, that's when I connected with you guys on social media and was talking about opening up a lounge and wanted to make sure we had it. That's when I went down to the smoke pit and helped them for a little while, brought them in down there. And then, of course, we had to have them when we first opened here. But I fell in love with it from the Black Gold. The Black Gold was the one that I first smoked that I loved.
Yeah, it's a beautiful, and I'm glad you get a chance to enjoy it because we're still, imagine, 12 years in the industry, and we still not even scratch the surface. It's one of the things a lot of people doesn't know about our brand, doesn't know about our cigars, doesn't have any clue about our passion or background. So when you find somebody that actually appreciate what we create, that's as a blender for us, for me especially, it's a thank you. There's no other word.
No, but it's great, man. We have a few people in here that's all they'll smoke. They come in here and you'll meet a couple of them tonight. Mark is into the XO. That's his baby. He smokes them. He buys them by the box. Loves them. And then Carmi, she also loves the ruby. She smokes a lot of the rubies. So they're probably our one couple that's just their jam, and they're in here every week, all the time, smoking those same cigars a lot. So really,
beautiful.
It's fun to see people fall in love with a brand like that. And that's why I'm excited to have you here today. I'm hoping we get a lot of them out tonight. I know it's a Thursday night, but I'm hoping we get a lot of them out here to meet you to see why they love the brand and actually fall in love with you in the process. Because, just talking to you, I can see the passion you have for this industry and the passion for what you're doing. And that's one thing I love the most about this industry is, for the most part, almost everybody that's in it has a passion for it. And it's not just a job to make money, because we all know it takes a long time to make money in this industry.
Well, we always made the joke. Is that how to make $1 million in this industry?
Start with 2.
Exactly.
It's exactly right. Yes, it's exactly right.
I like that. Well, and like we talk about it with whiskey brands, bourbon, and all that. You throw a stone in Kentucky, you hit a beam. So like everybody's family at some point. And it's cool to see that some of these other brands are also very supportive. Al McAuliffe mentioned the same thing because they're near Placencia too. So he spoke with him and kind of had a similar thing of just community and like, you can do this, like you can do it. So like go do it. Just don't doubt yourself. Just go do it. Try it out. Like there's nothing wrong with it. Just figure it out. You'll figure it out.
And I see a lot of people that especially a lot of cigar smokers, they talk about this is such a massive industry. It really isn't. It's a pretty small knit industry of people doing this.
You need competition.
You definitely need competition, but it's actually, everybody knows everybody.
Right.
And there's something fun with that. When you go to the trade show, it's so much fun watching you guys connecting with each other and seeing each other and hugging each other. And it's like, that's what this is all about. Relationships and just building up an industry together. So
right. And Enrique,
we love that.
you said it too. Like you like to smoke everyone's products and enjoy other things too. Like I think that's awesome because there's nothing worse to me than meeting an owner or a rep or something, and the first thing they say is, "I only smoke my cigars," or "I only drink my bourbon." I'm like, one, you're probably wrong, but two, you should probably smoke and enjoy everybody's products because it's research. You know, like you got to make sure that you're not doing the same thing. But even if you are, like, what could I do better if theirs is better? Or is mine so much better than theirs? Like,
well, it's also the appreciation of what people are
everybody's
doing.
supporting everybody.
Yeah.
Yes. I think that's a huge thing to do. Like, I don't like going to whiskey tastings and I see the master distiller drinking a beer. Like, that kind of puts me off. Like, I want to see him enjoying his juice, Like, like what's wrong with your whiskey that you don't want to drink it when you're telling us that we need to buy it? I'm like, okay, maybe that one's not for me. So, yeah. But it's cool seeing the support in the community, and it's pretty cool, especially with PCA. Like that's huge.
So tell me, so you have Global Premium Cigars, that is your overarching company, right? And then you have 1502 as one of the brands under that company. Is that correct? Okay,
that's correct.
I just want to make sure I was telling people
Premium
correctly.
Cigars, or GPC, is the name of the company.
Gotcha.
And then we have two brands. One will be Cachito.
Yeah,
is the one made by Barrera Cigars,
which we have that here too, guys. Yep.
And then the other one is 1502 Cigars. And under 1502 Cigars, we have 7 different sub brands.
Yeah.
That will be, and we categorize them. Very simple Scotch that we were talking about before. You got blended Scotch, you got single malt, you got barrel Scotch. Our portfolio is developed just about the same. You got a blended selection, in which is 1502 Emerald, 1502 Ruby, 1502 Black Gold. Why blended? Because you have tobacco for other countries in those blends. If at least 80-something% is Nicaraguan tobacco.
Right.
Then you have our Puro selection, in which, of course, you got 1502 Nicaraguan, 1502 Blue Sapphire. And then you got the 1502 Aniversario, the one that made by A.J. Fernandez. They came out, was it last year? No, 2 years ago. I'm sorry, for our 10th anniversary.
Which one is that again? Oh, the anniversary. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And then, of course, you got the 1502 XO, and which is our Rose Roy. I mean, that's it's our masterpiece in that.
It's
aspect.
great. It's great.
I haven't had that one yet.
It's one of the. It's a cigar that has. We always talk about the difference between strength and body. That is the cigar I tell people the most about. That's the one that screws it up because it has full body of flavor and just a transition and everything in it, but it's a mild to medium in strength.
Yes.
So you're not going to get hit by nicotine, but you're going to get all the flavor of the ones you normally might get hit with nicotine. It's kind of a flip flop of a lot of cigars, and I love that because the guy that likes really full bodied stuff thinks he likes strong stuff, and I have him smoke that. And he's like, "That was great." I'm like, "Yeah, that was mild."
Of course. There's some people in which they go in the car and they push the accelerator and they want to hear the yeah, but you don't do that to a Rose Roy.
Exactly. Yep, that's exactly right. Yeah,
there are other cigars for that experience. And let me show you. Do you know why or how did I come out with the concept of the 52 XO?
No, I've never heard it yet.
Very interesting. Does anybody knows here how 50 or the blue label from Johnny Walker was created?
No.
See? We're going to do something
all
new
right,
today.
Educate
let's
us
hear
today.
All right. In any production, because I'm a Scotch or bourbon or cigars, whatever it is, normally the master blender comes along and says, we're gonna make, actually the sales team said, we're gonna sell 20 million bottles this year. Okay, perfect. So he comes and he does his number and says, okay, well, I need 30 cases or that barrel. I want that one, and they start making all the preparation for start doing the mix of everything. Remember, Johnny Walker Black, I think it was 30 or 37 different malts in which they use in the blend. It's a blended. And Scotch, the youngest one of the blend that you use is the one you have, the number you have to put in the bottle.
Right.
That's Black is 12.
Yep.
That was the youngest they used. They had to put 12.
Yep.
So what happens with this process? Whenever that production is gone, you have to come up with a new production.
Yeah, that has to be old.
But you cannot use the old barrels.
Right.
So if there are any leftovers, they stay in the corner. After 20, 30, or 50 years, that corner actually is a few warehouses in which there are great product, but they cannot mass produce it anymore to keep the consistency, the quality control in that aspect. So this young fellow from Johnny Walker comes along and says, hey, you know what, let me see what we can do with all these leftovers. And I start working, I think it's 48 or something different months in the Johnny Walker Blue. It was created, and then everything came around it. But it started with a problem. How do we solve the problem and find a solution in which is beneficial and at the same time create greatness? And that's exactly what I did. So, and my idea, when I hear the story, it's like, wait a second. If Johnny Walker had the same issue, I guarantee you Plasencia has the same issue with small batches, something that was leftovers and nobody else can use it. I mean, the big guys cannot mass produce it. I mean, it's worthless for them.
Yeah.
But in my case, being a boutique company, I can do magic. And that's how I got started. But able to do that, you had the limitation because 18-year-old tobacco. Not only I had to have 18, but you had to have the 17, the 16, the 15, and so on, so on, so on, so on. So when this batch goes to the market, and Equa start working in the chain of reaction.
Yeah.
So, and that's very important. So now your limitation is completely narrow.
Okay.
And that's why it took me around 3.5 years to perfectionate that blend.
Okay.
To say, now this is what we're looking for. So I don't like, they always make some, in the marketing industry, they always make some limitadas. I hate the limitadas. I mean, the concept of limitada is like, here you go, have this great cigar once, but you only going to enjoy it this time, and that's it.
Yes.
Like, why are you doing that to me? I mean,
And it always ends up being the best one they've ever made. It's like, come on.
So,
That's what I was Stop doing that. Make it regularly.
Thank you to sponsor Deadwood Live. Derek with Deadwood Live is producing top quality live edge products as well as bourbon themed furniture. If you've been in the lounge, you've seen the custom live edge table and barrel stools produced by Derek. Be sure to give him a like and follow on Facebook at Deadwood Live. That's DED Wood Live.
So with this one, what we did is do a limited production. So every year we release X amount of boxes, and once the boxes are gone, you have to wait for the next year or the next batch to come in. So it's different concept in that aspect, but it was definitely thinking of a problem or how to have solve the problem, looking for a solution and create magic between it.
That's great. That's great.
Retroactively thinking to be proactive on not having a limited.
Well, does all of your tobacco come from Plasencia other than that? The Aniversario.
Well, everything is being manufactured in their factory.
Okay.
The tobaccos that we use from Nicaragua, they're all from the farms.
Gotcha.
There are some in which, for example, Mexico, we use Casa Torrant for the Sanders Mexico.
Yeah.
The 1502 Ruby, in which the wrapper is from Ecuador, Sabano, Ecuador. It comes from the Oliva family in Ecuador.
Gotcha.
So, but everything goes to Plasencia. So, but we always try to work with what they create. I mean, even Cachitos. In Cachito, we were Barrera. Barrera started farming a few years ago, and we immigrate everything they had to do with the tobacco they produce in the farm, because it's the only way you can keep the consistency or you can control the consistency in time, is to have access to the raw material right in the field.
Yeah.
And that's one of the key things. And I always tell a lot of people in the industry, it's like, if you're not integrated all the way back, you're going to have a shortage, you're going to have a problem, and you're going to have definitely your market will see it.
Yeah.
And will definitely will penalty you for that one. So make sure whenever you get started, start right. Look for those people in which they they have been doing this for many years and they have access to those fields.
Right. And I will say Plasencia is definitely one of those families that have the farms that is consistent across the board. And one of the things too is it's like Aganorsa leaf, Plasencia. You can taste the farm in each one of those. Some other ones they're blending different ones and stuff, and that's fine. They all make great cigars, but you can you can taste. Oh, this, I know what farm this is coming from. That's kind of special. That tells you how consistent they are and how many products they probably are putting out in the market that you can taste in the blend. So
of course,
I love that.
That's a cool way to think about that too. Like you're sourcing tobacco, just like a new whiskey brand. When they first start up, what do? They source.
Yeah.
They source their products so they can sell. You got to pay your bank note. So you got to sell something. Most of them distill white and they sell that in 6 months, and then others will source MGP and bottle it up or double oak it or do something finished with it and sell it that way. So that's pretty cool to correlate that.
Let's ask a little bit of something a little bit more personal, and also go ahead and shout out your bride a little bit here, because I love your wife. She's awesome.
Oh yeah, she is.
I've communicated with her for 3 years now in the 2 different businesses I've been a part of, and she's always been awesome. So yeah, I really like her. She's nice. She's really nice. So Soul, I always call her Soul. Is that the way she likes to be? Is it?
Well,
Solana, right?
Yeah, interesting. Her name comes from the two name of the grandmas, Sol, Soledad, and Ana. So it's a made up name. And they put it together. So they have no fight between the two grandmas. So they put Soliana.
Soliana, I like that. I like that.
I never met anybody in the world or heard anybody in the world with the same name. So that's very unique. But not everybody can pronounce it on the sense Soliana or remember Soliana. So a lot easier to say Sol.
Yeah,
like that the sun.
And that's exactly what she told me. Because I was trying to pronounce her name. She's like, just call me Sol. I'm like, all right, I got you.
She gets a lot of Selena. And which is quite different because I know not Selena, Soliana.
Soliana.
Okay. Yeah, I relate to that. Yeah, I've never met another Mike before. It's very, no Miguel's out there.
No Miguel's.
Ever.
Never. No.
Give it to Mikey. He likes it. I didn't get made fun of as a kid.
Never.
Ever.
Never.
No.
So how's that bourbon pairing with your Nicaragua?
I like it.
I'll be smoking one of those in here in a little while too. So
yes, definitely. Good. It's I think with this 152 Nicaragua might not be the best one because this one the bourbon has a lot more overpowering of the cigars,
and it's also 122 proof, so it's a little proofy.
I feel it.
Get y'all lubed up for the show.
Right now, it's definitely it's a good equilibrium in that aspect. But I would choose maybe a 52 Black Gold like we were talking before. With this one, I think will be a little bit more to that same level.
Well, the Blue Sapphire is actually pairing pretty nicely because it's got the strength. But this cigar for me always gives me a little bit of a dry fruit kind of note in there that I think is playing nicely with the sweetness of the bourbon itself.
I get that.
I know a lot of it's subliminal, and we talk about this all the time. Eyes do a lot too, but that blue, I get a dry blueberry note as the dry fruit in the cigar.
That is very interesting because
especially in the Lancero.
And it's many years ago when we released it, we started hearing on social media, hey, blueberry. If I was funny in the moment because it's since it's blue, like you say, it's perspective. Yep. And when I started on one of my tours, oh yeah, the blueberry. So one of the brokers at that time working with us said, yeah, when you open a box of blueberries, the freshness that you get out is just about the same one. Oh, and like, oh, so okay, so you're actually saying that for real? Like yes, it's a reminder. Of course, it's a reminder. It's a memory. Yeah. So and then they asked me, how do you guys come out with the blueberry taste or flavor or aroma? And like, well, we have blueberries in every corner in Nicaragua.
Oh yeah.
We don't know what colors of blueberries in Nicaragua for sure, but when we're talking about flavors and aromas, you have to understand that it's about memories.
Exactly. Yeah.
You cannot say it tastes like blueberries. You have never tried blueberries before, or you cannot say, hey, it tastes like chocolate.
Right.
But if somebody had never tried chocolate before, you cannot compare it. So the interesting part of it is that the more you have fresh of those memories in your brain, it's easy to remember them in your conscious and subconscious. Now, when you have a flavor or aroma in which it does not fit the profiles in your memories, with the brain, what it does, start searching and start looking for similars to compare it to other things, and that's had a lot to do with cigars in many things, because in the end, all the flavors profiles that you get from the cigar are memories from you. I mean, somebody else from South Africa or Nicaragua or let's say Austria is going to get a completely different perspective in the aspect.
Yeah.
Because their memory are completely different. Their food they eat is completely different of what we eat here.
Right.
So it's all had to do with those memories, in which they're very important.
Yeah, they eat fruit for breakfast, and we have waffles.
Well, and syrup. That's really, I mean, that's a good point, because we talk about that all the time. Every flavor note you're getting is just a memory of something that or you've remember from your past. Yeah. So, but that is something I hadn't really thought much about, because I've heard a lot of people from Central American countries that smoke cigars, and they're like, I could tell you what tobacco's in it. I can tell you this is Habano, this is whatever, and then, but I don't get all those things. And I always thought, I wonder if it's just their palates or what. And I'm like, no, it's not their palates. It's because they don't have a memory of anything we're talking about.
Yeah. This tastes like leather.
That makes a lot of sense.
When was the last time you licked leather?
Yeah.
Yes.
I licked some things when I was a kid. This tastes like Windows. I didn't do that.
No, that was last night.
I didn't do that.
But interesting. I will tell a story in which it was told by one of the master blenders in Plasencia. He's the two gentlemen from the United States. They fly there and they're making their own cigars. They're blending, and they're in the blending room and they're rolling the cigars, very fresh, and they're trying it, and they start to get sophisticated with the memories they get from the cigars. Oh yes, this is not from the east or west or the Amazon. Oh no, wait a second, the salt is from, and they start getting, and you see the master blender like playing pinball, looking one, looking to the other, two, and then they realize they have a master blender in front of them.
Yeah.
So on they're like, oh, let's try the Master Jedi here. So what do you taste it for you? Like, well, it does taste very similar to Ligero from Condega, and then have a little bit of Viso from Esteli, and a little bit of touch of the Seco from Conde from Jalapa.
Yeah.
And they look at each other like, oh.
Yeah.
But it's true. I mean,
it is.
For us, when you guys talk about flavor profile, for us, we talk about tobacco profile.
Right.
And that's where it's in our memory. So it's I'm not saying the one is right and the other one is wrong. It's what I'm saying is try to get more familiar with the flavor profile of the tobacco itself and not compare to other things, because you might get a different a disruption of reality.
Yes. Well, and that's one thing. I actually have I would consider a decent palate for pulling out flavor notes that I know. But the one thing that I really want to learn this year is I want to break down and taste tobaccos from everywhere to get to be able to get that. Because I mean, like,
that's
I know you see a blend and it has Costa Rican or it has Peruvian tobacco in it. It's like I want to know what that note is, so that when I smoke a cigar with that note, I know that's what that was. And I think that's a great thing to be able to learn. And I'm not there yet, so I want to get there.
But you know what? It's only one way to do it. It's start comparing. I do the same time. I'm in my house and I go and I do have the churritos for all the regions, all the different part of the, it's a Viso, Seco, Ligero, or the different regions and country. And it's like, you know what? Let me go just to remind me or remind my memory about the flavor profile or the memory of Condega Jalapa, Condega Seco does.
Yeah.
So I go there and grab the churrito and just smoke that one. It's just to keep my memory always fresh.
I need to hit you up and get a care package. I'll send you some money or something. Send me a care package of other different tobaccos.
Or you can tell Soliana.
Okay. All right.
Just a hit. Yeah, I know.
All right, Soliana, I'm calling you. Wait, is she gonna be like our wives and not actually listen to this?
Yeah, most likely.
That sounds about right. My wife only listens to it when I'm editing.
Well, I will say Lisa does listen to it because she's trying to figure out what we said wrong, and then also did we say the things that she told us to say? So
or not say.
All the above.
All of it. Yeah. And she calls us out a lot.
She does.
But yeah, I mean, like that's a good way to put it, and like I'd be interested in learning some of that stuff this year too, because like that, San Andreas always gives you me again, memory, cocoa, cherry, like gives you these certain flavors to where like if I smoke something that has San Andreas in it, like I can tell like
you
it's
pull it out.
Yeah. So that's really cool and I would love to learn more about picking out other regions of tobacco and like different tobaccos and stuff. Like I'm with you. I think I'm pretty good at my profile, but I know there's some things that I'm pulling strings on, circling the wheels because like I don't have that memory. So like it's just like, oh, this tastes like tobacco.
Well, I mean, just think about in meals or cooking, for example. Everybody knows how salt tastes. That's the most, I think, flavor profile memories that everybody has.
Yep.
And then peppers. Because I'm most likely, it depends on the pepper, black pepper or white pepper, green pepper, it depends. It can get a little bit tricky in that aspect, but most of the people, let's say black pepper, everybody had tried it once.
Yes.
Now, how do they taste together?
Right.
Okay, you might know the memory, you might have those memory. How do you put it together? Okay, what about if you put there now paprika? Wait a second. I know I had the memory of paprika by itself, but together.
Yeah, not together.
It's only one way to find out, and that's what we do when we do blending.
Yeah.
So we take it's like a symphony, okay? Because everybody knows how the instrument play, no? Everybody know how the guitar plays.
Yeah.
But what about if we put a guitar with this tempo, with the let's say the violin? That's a good example. Or what about if we throw the drums? Or what about, no, wait a second, let's throw this one out. And that it's blending. That's what we do. That's when I'm working a blend, once we had the concept, I put all the blend in my head first. And that takes months, might take years, just to put all the things together before I even send that information to the factory. Say, hey, make this, give me different alternative, percentage-wise, and boom, 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 and all the aspect. But that's how we do the things. But I do have the experience. I have the memory to be able to do that. So the most you get fresh of those memories, the better it is.
So when you retrohale a cigar, when it comes out of your nose, what do you typically lean towards? That black pepper, white pepper? Like, what is it for you? It
depends on the blend.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
That's if we get a little bit more pepper, a little bit more strong, and you're gonna see it's because I have a lot more ligero. It could be other regions in which the biso is a little bit more strong too, but mainly it's more ligero to that one. So when there's some cigars in which when you retrohale, you definitely your eyes get a little bit watery. Yeah. That's the ligero talking to you. Yeah. And that's the important. If you don't retrohale, you're never going to be able to experience that.
The full flavor, yeah.
Right.
Yep.
It's like I always tell everybody, get let's say a filet mignon and put a clip in your nose and eat it. Let's see how they taste.
Right.
And you're like, well, see, it does not taste the same, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, I mean, try to do the retrohale the best you can. And everybody know and everybody can do it. It's a little bit tougher, but that's how we create magic. Yeah. And if we're able for you to enjoy it too,
it's all your sensors.
Use all the senses.
Yeah. So I'll ask you this, because you said too, like pepper, at some point in everyone's life, they've probably tried pepper. What is the one thing other than pepper that you would say that every human being has ever tried?
Well, you're talking about all human beings. That's a very tough one, because there are so many places in the earth in which they have not tried barely nothing. So it's a little bit more complicated with that one. But the other one will be the sweetness, the sugar, for example. And that I think will be to the other opposite, or salt, will be sugar. And not most of this, a large percentage in the worldwide, they have tried it in some way.
Yeah. That's different. I never really thought to think about sugar. Because you're right, like different regions of the world are going to have different sugars. And it's going to come out different. We learned, and this just like went right over our heads when we heard this, breast milk.
Yeah, this was during a sensory training. You know,
breast milk, but the memories you have of the breast milk, it's last time I tried, let me see, it was probably like 48 years.
Yeah.
But at some point, that was like maybe one of the first things that you ever tried. So like,
what she was saying, this is Jackie Zykan. She's a sensory trainer for whiskey, and she was talking about, she's like, it's kind of like a base flavor in your psyche, because when you're a baby, that's what you drink, and that's why a lot of people come up with creaminess, or a little bit of that kind of oily creaminess out of in certain things like foods and drinks and stuff like that too. That's where that came from. Yeah,
that was just something that like we had never thought about, like because my mind would have gone to sugars or spices or something, something that is normal. Childhood. Childhood flavors. Not juicy fruit.
Well, it depends who you ask. I mean, if you as a kid, it was a chocolate.
Chocolate, right. It's got to be chocolate.
Or cereal. Like every kid in America ate cereal as a kid. It's like,
well, in Nicaragua it would be gallo pinto, but that's quite different.
What's gallo pinto?
Gallo pinto. You never tried gallo pinto?
I may have. I don't know what it is. What is it?
It's one of the most delicious dishes, and it's very difficult to prepare. It's rice and beans.
Oh, okay, yeah. I do like rice and beans. Yes.
In the Nica way, in which is, oh my God, then you put a little cream, the fried cheese to the side, the maduro, the tortilla caliente.
Yeah, that's not just rice and beans anymore.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I was so disappointed because Lisa and I went down to Miami, and we were going down to see, we were going to Honduras to see the GRE farm. By the way, this is Will. This is Enrique. Yeah.
Final Third Cigar is Indiana's exclusive Aladino Cigar Lounge. Come to Final Third for a selection of over 20 different Aladino cigars, including the Cameroon, a wonderful cigar with nice light flavors. Make sure and visit Final Third, the Aladino exclusive cigar lounge for Indiana.
So we're back in here again. Our Will has joined us. I think he just got done hobnobbing with somebody.
Guys.
We don't know who it was, but
I wish.
he
No.
can't tell us because he tells us he has to kill
Privilege.
us. So
All business today, man. I wish. Yeah.
All
Good to see you
business.
guys.
Yeah.
Glad to
heck
be
yeah.
here. Yeah.
Yeah, heck yeah, man.
all right, so
Yeah,
where we
where
head
were we?
to next?
I don't know, man.
Oh,
What were we
that's
talking
what we were
about?
just talking
sensory.
about. Yeah, well, we were just talking about sensory stuff as well. But one thing that we talked about before was the Nicaraguan festival. Tell us a little bit about that because I know you guys go there every year to that festival, and you should because obviously you live there. You don't still live there though. Or do you have a house there as well as in Miami?
Well, I do have my mother has a house, so that means
Gotcha.
I have a
So
house.
you have a
That's
house.
what I
Yeah,
have.
there you go, there you go.
Exactly. And, my sister, my brother, everybody live there, so it's
Okay.
all my friend, most of my friends are there too. At least I would say 50% of my family still live in Nicaragua. So
Okay.
yeah. It's
So you
Nicaragua.
go back and forth quite a bit.
I do. Always
Good.
find an excuse to go back home. That's for sure.
Good.
But in the Nicaragua Cigar Festival, Puro Sabor, I mean, we only go there for the festival, but we are part of the member of Nicaraguan Cigar Chamber. So
Okay,
we
okay.
are a sponsor of the festival too.
Oh,
So
gotcha.
it's not only for pleasure. We go there for work to entertain and talk to a lot of friends worldwide. They come to visit us.
That's
so
nice.
it's probably a week, if you want to call it, in which you see different part of Nicaragua, but then mainly is Esteli and the regions around Esteli. Last year we went to Condega to see one of the facilities there of one of the big manufacturers. Before and then there's other places that you go there, and every day there the activities in the fields and the factories. But then in lunch we all get together in the same place. Have a wonderful lunch, Nicaraguan meals most of the time, and different meals, and then a few drinks. And then in the afternoon, we do another tours. Depends on the group you are. You go to different factories, different fields. And then at night, these parties, food, drinks, and friends.
Yeah.
That's into early in the morning, in which you have to get up again and do the same thing. So after a few days, you're a little bit hurt.
I like this culture. I like this culture.
That's why we do only one time a year.
Yeah.
That's our weekend. This weekend is the Indianapolis 500. So
Yeah.
Oh, true.
yeah, our buddy Scott, our fourth member on the podcast, he's camped out down there now, and he goes for 4 days straight. So
Really?
we're going down there tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. to have breakfast and do another podcast with him.
Beautiful.
So
Yeah.
Same thing, very similar.
Big party.
Yeah.
Big
Very
party,
similar, but with no vehicles.
yeah, food,
Yes.
drinks. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have a good time. So,
Cigars, all the cigars. We'll have
all the
cigars all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some 1502s.
Oh, absolutely.
We'll throw them
Yes,
in there. Yeah. So we did. I lied. I told you I hadn't tried the black gold. I have had the black gold.
Okay.
Because our pairing of the month of May was the black gold.
Oh,
So every month we do a cigar and whiskey pairing. We put it on the board up there by the bar, and you get a discount if you get the cigar and the whiskey.
Love it.
That was our pairing of the month of May was the 1502 black gold. So
Great
that was
choice.
we did that with the Masters Collection Woodford, and
Did
that
you
one
enjoy
actually
it?
Oh, it was amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, the 52 Black Gold. I know that was the first one you tried too
Yes.
as well. The wrapper is San Andres, Mexico for the Casa Torrante.
Yeah.
And then it's you have double binder from Nicaragua, and you have 3 ligeros, 2 from Nicaragua and another from San Andres, Mexico.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Amazing.
That's why it's 5 out of 5. It's got the strength. But interesting part of it is that the cigar is not overpowering. It's not like even that have 3 ligeros, it's not gonna knock you down. I don't blame for that. I mean,
Sure.
I like a strength in a cigar when it's needed, but my idea is never a strength. Compared to the 52 Blue Sapphire, in which the way you guys enjoy as well, in which I have 2 ligeros. That's why it's 4 out of 5. It's got the strength, and does not have Ometepe. You only have Jalapa, Condega, and Esteli in that blend.
Okay. Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, I
and
didn't know that.
You kind of glossed over this a minute ago, but so you have Jalapa, Esteli, Contega.
And the beautiful
And the
island
island-
of Ometepe.
That's what I was going to say.
Ometepe.
So the other 3 regions are fairly close, but then Ometepe is the offshoot of another island.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Actually, Ometepe it's in Lake Nicaragua.
Okay.
And which is, I believe, is the biggest island inside of a lake worldwide, or at least in America.
Okay.
So, and it has 2 volcanoes, Madera and Concepcion. Madera is the one right now erupted last week. And right in the middle is when you feel the tobacco. It's one of the beautiful in Lake Nicaragua in general is that if you're in the middle of the lake, you don't see coast. I think it's the second biggest lake in America after the Michigan lakes. So and something very unique. It has freshwater sharks.
Really?
Okay.
Oh,
There's only two lakes the two lakes in the world, and was freshwater shark. One will be in Nicaragua, the other will be in Congo, Africa, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
But that one I never seen one, and I'm looking forward to see one. But you know,
I don't
they
wanna
are
see it.
there.
I don't want to take your word
Interesting.
for it.
Interesting.
Yes.
I'll go. I like the not seeing the coast part. That's cool.
That
Oh
sounds
no,
great.
and they had we have 365 little islands. They call like Isleta de Granada, in which you can swim from one to another. It's very short, and they have beautiful houses there. Some even have tennis courts, and you know, they're nice places. And we always said we have one isleta for every day of the year, 365.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow, okay.
Interesting.
And the
Wow.
sunset and the sunrise in that day, I never seen a pinkish reddish color anywhere in the world compared to there.
Wow.
It's amazing.
Wow. Interesting.
So down there, that's one of the things we have around here. Like here in the last, what was it, about 2 weeks ago, week ago, or whatever, they had the we could see the aurora borealis here because of the magnetic storms going over and everything else. So you never see them this south. It's super seldom. They were seeing them in southern Indiana, all kinds of stuff. Our biggest issue here is light pollution. Pretty much everywhere you are, you're close enough to a city where the light kind of screws with seeing the stars well and
Yeah,
all
even
that
out
stuff.
this way.
How is it down in Nicaragua? Is it?
I mean, it's
I
a
know you
third
still have
world
big
country.
cities.
I mean, yes, but if you are outside of those big cities, I remember when I was before I came to live in the state, I used to go a lot of hunting in Nicaragua. Oh my God, those skies are full of stars, in which is amazing. You like, how? It's like, well, the light pollution, like we said. But it's amazing. Nicaragua is pure in nature, and that's one the beautiful of it. I mean, we have everything in one country except snow. This is the only thing that we not have. Just to give you an example, we have 40 different volcanoes, in which 21 are active volcanoes.
Okay.
That's why we call Tierra de Lagos y Volcanes. It's land of lakes and volcanoes, because we have three big lakes, and then of course we had the two coasts, Atlantic coast and the Pacific coast.
Well, and those volcanoes give you all that nice, rich soil.
Yes, it does.
So there's a
And-
reason why all those volcanoes are creating some of the best tobacco and coffee beans in different regions, stuff like that around the world. So
Yes.
is
yes.
the pH of the soil like generally acidic a little bit, or
It depends where you go, to be honest. I'm not very familiar with which of the regions, but it has some characteristics. Because it depends where you're going to be, what is going to be growing better than
what's
other
going to grow
things.
there?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
So how does it affect it now that it's like actively erupting?
Well, I mean, everything right now is close. Close to Ometepe, the port, everything is when it was erupting, was completely closed. I mean, there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
I mean, it would affect the farming and everything, no doubt. It would affect the tourists, no doubt too. But interesting. I remember a few years ago, Volcan Momotombo. It was erupting. Volcan Momotombo. It was the one close to Managua. We had two. It's Momotombo and Momotombito. Momotombo, a little Momotombo. So the big Momotombo was erupting, and it had people from everywhere in the world flying to see the eruption, because it was not dangerous, it was far away, but you can hear it and you can see how they scrub the lava in the air and everything. When you're driving in the highway, you're like, oh, look at that, and you can hear the thunders, and
Wow.
it's
amazing.
completely.
How cool is that? Yeah.
Now, if you go to Volcan Masaya, in which it has been active since centuries ago, you can actually see the lava from, if you stand next to the edge, you can see the lava.
oh wow.
I will have a video because I can show you, in which I filmed it with my iPhone. Because you walk in there and you can zoom it, you can hear that lava lake cracking underneath, and it's just part of Nicaragua.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Wow.
That's super cool.
I tried to lit a cigar there, yeah.
Just burn up all at once.
Yeah, I've spent a lot of time in Ecuador over the past years, and when we were there one trip, Tungurahua, I can't remember if that's how you pronounce it or not, was actually in the eruption phase. Problem down in Ecuador is the cloud covers halfway up the volcanoes all the way up there, so you couldn't really see much other than the smoke and the ash falling. But it's still unique, another unique area with the Andes through there too. So, which again, that's why they probably grow some great tobacco, great flowers,
There
great
you go.
coffee, all that too. So,
Yes.
I've spent 0 time in that area. So
yeah.
Well, I was in Ecuador last
know
week.
Yeah.
I was in Ecuador last
Oh,
week
yeah?
with Soliana. Yeah.
What range or what region?
Quito.
Okay.
Yeah. We only stay in Quito because we're there for like 38 hours just for a meeting and fly back so I can start making my trip to this area.
Yeah.
So it was a short one, but
Yeah.
it's beautiful country.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time in Quito, all the way down through to Rio Bamba and down. We actually spent some time in Guayaquil as well, but I've never been down to the coast yet.
Yeah.
I'd love to go down to the coast sometime because, that's where they all go on vacation, so it probably is the best place to go. So
Well, I don't blame them.
You travel, Will. Have you ever been out to like that area or like any of
No, I
those
haven't
places?
been to Central America.
No.
You've never been in Nicaragua.
No, I haven't.
Ah,
Yeah. I've
we had to change that.
road trip?
done mostly like Caribbean
Okay.
yeah,
trips, things like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've not been to
Europe a few
Nicaragua
times.
yet. I want to go. I definitely want to make a trip down there. We went to Honduras a couple years ago or last year. That's the only Central American I've been to.
It's a
other
beautiful
than-
country as
yeah,
well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, next week, let me see, the 12th, I'm taking all the family to Nicaragua for 3 weeks.
Nice.
So I can say we shut down everything. If somebody needs to order, do it before because, or talk to your sales representative because we will be in Nicaragua.
Yeah.
And I told her, so we're taking out of those 3 weeks, 2 weeks we're going to San Juan del Sur and we're gonna live the beach life there.
Yes.
Now that was what we used to do when we were kids in Nicaragua. Now every time there's vacation, we go to the beach and we stay there for 1 or 2 months. With all the costs and we didn't have PlayStations or Nintendo Switch or iPhones at that time, because unless you bike, fishing, going to the beach, swimming, we were kids. So in this time, I told my wife, like, it's time for our kids to start doing that in a point as well. So let's go there and have fun, just relax. We go fishing, it was perfect. And,
Yeah.
living a little bit
Good
of
for you,
the
man.
experience.
Love it. Yeah.
That sounds like a blast.
Yeah, that's awesome.
From concept to creation, Bother Visuals specializes in bringing your ideas to life. They'll turn ordinary moments into extraordinary stories. Bother Visuals is your one-stop shop for all things visual. Be sure to like and follow on all social media at Bother Visuals.
You deserve it too. I mean, this has been I know with PCA being earlier in the year, how does that affect you guys? Because for us, I was super happy. I didn't want to be in Vegas in July, so I was really happy. And also starting it out earlier in the season makes the season kind of kick off. How does that affect you guys?
Well, let me respond it this way. In the 12th of next month, we're going to Nicaragua.
Yeah, yeah. You couldn't have done that last year. That's right.
Last year was
Yeah.
impossible. I mean, it was like my wife's like, when are you taking vacation when the kids are on vacation? Like, whenever PCA is not around the corner,
Yeah.
now I have no excuse. So
Yeah.
Nicaragua it is.
So it is good for you too. Good.
What do you think of that Nicaragua there, Will? How's that treating you?
I think it's great.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
I love that cigar too.
It's just not too
Haven't had
powerful,
one of those
but it's just got nice flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Heck yeah.
very good.
Love it.
I had a question though, like the growing season.
Mhm.
So when do you plant Nicaragua and when do you harvest?
Well, normally the harvest season is between I would say the start late November, early December, and into goes to March around that time.
Okay.
So that's when it depends on the fields, it depends on the bar, but that's the region time. Anything outside that, it's prepare the land for the next one. So you harvest something else.
Okay.
So
you always bring the nutrition back to it.
do you only have one season a year?
Yes.
Okay.
And there's many farms in which in that season they take 2 or 3 crops.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
it's,
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Because that's one of the things I'd always heard about Cuba was, they were just, in another term, raping the soil by just constantly planting. And I assume that meant all year long, as many crops they can get in, not letting the soil regenerate, getting the crop. Is that the case, or is that just?
Of course, they have been doing
Okay.
that for 500 years.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
in case of Nicaragua, we are very responsible doing that. And besides, remember, in the 80s, we had a civil war in Nicaragua.
Right.
So all this land, they rested for over 10 years. So nothing actually was being, as a farmer, being grown there. So it was all nature. So everything went back to the land and the nature. So now that we get be able to harvesting, we are very responsible in that aspect. Or most of the farmers there are very responsible, and they try to put something back to the land. So they're on
good.
top of it. That's why you see that quality of product that we have. It's unbelievable. And I think Nicaragua has not even scratch the surface of what we will be discovering later on. I mean, it's with all the innovation, the technology is going to Nicaragua, and the new lands being discovered. I mean, wow.
Yeah.
If right now we're number one worldwide, wait another 10 or 15 years. You will be amazed.
That's awesome.
There's nothing higher than one,
So
but you can stay there.
I grew up in the Southeast. I grew up in South Carolina.
Okay.
So my first job in 8th grade, when I was 12 years old, was working in tobacco.
Really?
So
wow.
we still
I
had
didn't know that.
tobacco in
Yeah.
South Carolina then, and it's so hot, and cropping and popping the suckers off the top. I mean, you would get all the tobacco gum all over your hands, in your hair, on your face, and the only stuff that gets it out is the lava. You got to have something with some abrasion to get all that tobacco gum off. But
Well, that's part of the fun.
it was, it was really cool. I mean, it was just hard work, really hard work.
Yeah.
So,
Who'd you work for?
I work for a farmer, local farmer in town I grew up in.
Kind
They
of like
probably
here,
had-
everyone that was younger, they went and did detasseling in the cornfields.
Yeah,
when
it's
we
just
were younger.
yeah. We didn't go to school until after Labor Day because that's when they were harvesting all the tobacco at that time. So we went after Labor Day. August was busy time,
Nice.
Yeah.
Interesting.
and then once you get all the good leaves off the bottom, then they're stripping stalks with whatever they can pull off and do it all again next year.
Yeah.
Nice.
So,
Wow, I
So-
did not grow up doing that.
Now you did mention your kids. So or tell us the name of your kids again and how old are they?
Alejandro is 20, and then Antonio is 15, and Enrique Fernando is 10.
Okay, awesome. Now are they interested in your business? Are they a part of it now?
Well, I mean, it all depends who you ask and what time or the moment when
They
you
are
ask
still
them.
young,
You know,
yeah.
when they want something, they're like, oh, no, of course, I'm going to carry on with the business, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
When they're trying to be a little bit stubborn, it's like, I don't need you. It's like, nah, that's for old people. So,
That's great.
it's I do have my hope. It's 1 out of 3, that would be great because some of my ads are high. So if we get all 3 of them, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
So, but the saddest part of my business, I remember when I was growing up and all my fathers going to the farm to work or business trip or meetings or whatever it is, board director, he always had me next to him.
Yeah.
And you learn a lot of things there. You think you're not listening, but just to be in a board of director in which things get a little bit more, I said, complicated. The adrenaline that you smell in the moment, how you deal with body language, how you deal with this, and at early age you're learning all those little details. Or when you go to the farm and it's payday, and and my father said, because here's the back, you pay. Because I'm there, I'm probably 10 years old, and I'm counting the money one by one. And my dad is next to me, just making sure that I do it the right way.
Yeah.
You learn all the things, and I have not been able to do that with my kids because legally I cannot add them to work with me until they're 21 because it's tobacco product. So they limited me on that aspect. But it's satisfaction sometimes when I get my car stock, going to Miami, and I tell one of my kids, hey, inventory. No. That's not how you do inventory, because I'm going to put all 52 emmers to one side. Now you divide them in bitolas, and then you stack it up and you count each of them. Now you do the same with the ruby. No. Don't go for the 52 black gold yet. You always keep the same order: emmer, ruby, black gold, Nicaragua, blue, aniversario, and exos. And so you teach them.
Yeah.
So whenever that happens, later on in another round, they know what to do. But at least I'm trying to teach them the best that I can.
Yeah.
So I try to work with the limitations they're giving to me, and I try to do the best I can.
Yeah. Well, that's
awesome.
great. That's great. So yeah, I don't know if you saw her come in. That's my daughter Chloe down here at the end. She just turned 21, so she can legally start slinging drinks and handle tobacco and
there
stuff
you go.
too. So yeah, it's always fun having family involved
Of
and to be able
course.
to be a part of that. So that's great.
Yes.
Yeah, my mom was an IT director when I was a kid going to work with her, so I got to sit in the corner and watch her type all day. So
And now that's what Mike does a lot.
that's what I do a lot, is sit in the corner and type. So I guess, I learned that from my mom. So same thing.
So does cigar culture in Nicaragua involve alcohol a lot or not so much? Or what do you think?
Well, let me put it this way. Okay, whenever there's a strike in Nicaragua, the strike ends at 5 o'clock in the afternoon on Friday, and it renews back on Monday around lunchtime, just about, just giving you an idea. So we are very particular with our free time in that aspect.
Okay.
So I would have asked the question the other way around. Does alcohol involved around Nicaragua? Yes, we do learn that Flor de Caña is the best rum at early age in life, and we are very proud of that we will consume. But it's a little balance in that aspect. So yes, cigar, it's you get a lot of rum there, but we also have great coffee as well. So no alcoholic product is something we do enjoy very much with our cigars.
I love
Nice.
coffee and cigars.
Yeah,
Yes,
heck
great.
yeah.
I
We
do
talk about
too.
coffee and cigars a lot of the time. So
This one, imagine with a cappuccino or an espresso in the morning.
100%. Yeah,
That's
I'm
my
with
style.
you. Yeah, all
And
day.
even 1502 Emerald, 1502 Nicaragua, my 2 start of the day cigars with my cappuccino right after breakfast, you cannot go wrong.
Yeah,
So
I'm with you.
we were talking about breakfast cigars the other day. Just like what our go-to is for the morning, and I like to start dark. I just typically stay with the medium to full body stuff all day.
a Sith.
Yeah,
Oh, this is definitely going to be a morning cigar for me
Yeah.
now, all day.
And the good thing about that for you, I know, because I know you're like me, you like the strong, a little bit more full bodied or mild, medium to full. That one's still in that world, but it gives you those lighter, nuttier notes. that kinda
I like
comes
the
through.
nuttiness. I like the
Yeah.
creaminess on this. It's great.
Good deal. Good deal. Well, what else we got going here?
nothing.
I know we got the event
Got a
getting
whole
ready to
bunch.
stop up or start up here in a few minutes. We've already got, I know, a few people ready to come meet you, so we'll cut this off here in a few minutes. But any other last questions or thoughts we have here?
I'm good. Will, you got any questions since you missed some of it?
Yeah, I kind of threw some out. And I
Okay.
was just curious about the culture
heck yeah.
of cigars in Nicaragua and how it kind of pairs with alcohol. And some cultures don't, involve alcohol a lot with cigars. And I just think it's interesting.
Yeah.
So you said rum. So like, what do you like to pair with? Like, do you have a specific rum that you like to
Well,
use?
Flor de Caña from Nicaragua. I had to say that Flor de Caña was no doubt one of the best rum in the world. Well, I will try not to be humble and say one of the best rum in the world, but I also think it's the best rum in the world.
Yeah.
So for us, it's very proud of the Flor de Caña. I mean, it's interesting how you see the process because it's the only rum, and we talk about the Centenario line, in which is sugar free. They use in the third distillery process, they took away all the sugar. So it's something very unique in that.
It's a pure spirit. Yeah.
It's completely. And actually, do you know how, you can see the rum, you can smell the rum, taste the rum, but you can also touch the rum.
Oh, yeah.
Feel
It's
it.
part of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I mean, a well-aged rum, put a couple drops in your hand, and you flip it and, let it dry. And if the hand gets sticky, that means it's not well-aged rum. They're putting chemicals, something else to melasso to make it look aged. Flor de Caña, every time you do that, never gets sticky. It's
Okay.
completely clean in that aspect. And that's why I say, it's one of the best rums.
Okay.
Interesting.
That's
yeah,
great.
I didn't know that.
I'll have to try. I
So-
don't think
Yeah.
I've tried that.
I have
Yeah.
not tried that.
So we'll finish off. We did try that. They had that at the trade show. So they had the two rums they
Oh, so
had
you
there
gotta try that one.
was the Flor de Caña, and then there was also the Leon Jimenez,
Leon Jimenez,
which actually that was really good too. It's not even being distributed anywhere yet. That was really good too. Those were the only two rums that were even available at the show. So
Let's
those
say,
are
is
the
this
ones you
stuff
go
we can
to.
get like in this area or?
Flor de Caña, I believe you can.
Okay.
Yes.
The other one's not available for a
Interesting.
while. So yeah.
Yeah, well, we'll have to try to find some of that.
Yeah. So, okay. So we talked a little bit about the boxes. That's the new marketing, new strategy going forward. Is there anything in the pipeline you want to chat about maybe?
Well, there's many things in the pipeline.
Well, of
I mean,
course.
that's
Yeah,
that's that part I cannot tell you too much what's going on later
Don't worry.
on.
We won't tell
That-
anybody. It's
that's-
fine.
Yes.
Nobody listens to this. You can tell us right now.
Yeah, that's why they tell me all the time. And the next day, instead of flashing news, Enrique Sanchez just said.
We stopped recording. We're not recording anymore.
Yeah.
No, there's many surprises. I mean, Global Premium Cigar has been in the market for 12 years, and we have not even getting started. There's
Yeah.
many things that we are committed to change in this industry. I mean, when I say change for the good, of course. And there's many surprises that will be coming along, hopefully very soon or more sooner than later.
Yeah.
But there's a lot more focus in Nicaragua right now. So it's going to be
That's
very
awesome.
interesting.
Yeah. Now, you guys do you guys do both shows, the TP and PCA, and what's your future goals? Or do you have that yet?
Last year we did TP as well. It
Okay.
was very interesting. This year was impossible. I mean, it was almost back to back.
Right.
And I was right after Nicaraguan Cigar Festival, Puro Sabor, and was like, I can't be involved. And I had to stay in Nicaragua for another 2 weeks after the show for the event. So it's like, no, there's no way I can be there.
Yeah.
But we do Intertabak in Dortmund in Germany.
Okay.
As well, we have been doing that for many years. Since Europe is a very strong market for us.
Okay.
So, and we definitely will be there for this year.
Okay. Good deal.
That's cool.
That kind of makes a little. I was feeling like with PCA being earlier in the year, and if you don't, because a lot of people I've been here are not going to do both shows anymore. They're going to kind of jump back to PCA and just let's stick with the one that's doing the most for the industry. I wonder if that helps people like you, which I know it has to. When you're trying to release new products, it's kind of hard to release one in March, then go back and release one in July, and be able to do that every year and keep up with it. That's why we see so many of these new releases that take 6 months to actually get.
Yeah, but and remember, we're not very similar to many other companies. We do not release new blends every week, every year.
Right.
I mean, the last one we did release was 15th Aniversario 10. That was 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And before that, I think was probably 3 years before releasing anything else.
Yeah.
Because it's the way we do things. I mean, the way. When I'm working in the blend, like we talked about earlier, I come out with the concept idea, then come out with the blends in my head, then create a blend. But when I send the information to the factories, they have to make the blend. I mean, in the end,
Right.
that's how it works. But how the blend, they have to be sitting down for 4 to 6 months in the aging room for me to be able to try it.
Yeah.
And what about 3 or 4 months after that? Or 12 months, or 38 months.
Yeah.
It's only one way to find out is for me to experience that. So
Yeah.
whenever I come out with something in the market, it's the best alternative that is going to be there, and there's no other option. So and if I don't release it, I mean it's because I didn't meet my criteria in that aspect. So I'm not the person that I had to come out with blends every year.
Right.
It's I have I don't know how many blends in the pipeline in which sometimes they're not ready because I might not.
Sure.
I had to keep waiting. And whenever they're ready, they're ready.
Yeah. Cool. Good deal. Well,
Makes
thank
sense.
you so much
Heck
for
yeah.
coming on here and
Yeah,
talking
very
with
nice
us.
to meet you. Yeah.
Looking forward to this evening, and we're gonna have a good time here too. So, where's the best place for people to find you on social media or websites? Where's the best place they can find you?
Of course. I mean, everything's under the company Global Premium Cigars in Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter.
Okay.
Everything is there. You always can go to our website, which is saying Global Premium Cigars.
Okay.
And then or send us a message, and we always try to get as soon as possible, get back to you and respond to all the questions. And we always very like to have our hands in social media, especially. It's
Yeah.
the only way you can be close to the consumers, and so that way we can know what the experience, what are they liking, and always get the feedback for us. Very important. So make sure whenever you're there to enjoy one of our cigars, tag us, and we always get back to you.
Yeah.
And right now we have the nomination. It's the time of the year again for Cigar Journal Trophy Award.
Yep.
And we always recommend for you guys to support us as well.
Yes.
And please support us with 52 Ruby. So Ruby hopefully will be the nominee this year, and then
Okay.
we can bring that trophy home.
That'd be
Heck yeah.
great.
We'll make it
Yeah,
happen.
and if you guys want to come in, if you've never tried 1502 cigars, come in here. We've got all but the Emerald in stock right now, but we'll get that back. We got these in stock. Come out and try them in there. And if your local brick and mortar where you are doesn't have them, let them know. Get a hold of these guys. Get on. I mean, it's so easy to contact you guys. Just send a message out on social media or on the website, and just get them in there and try them in your region. I think they'll sell very well. So again, Enrique, thank you very much. You guys can follow me on Instagram at Final Third Cigar.
Find me on Instagram at Cocky Wolverine.
Find me on Instagram at both are visuals, Spencer Lee's, and don't forget to follow the podcast page, The Final Third Podcast, and at Final Third Cigar on YouTube.
Yeah, well, thanks
Yeah,
again,
thanks for
and we
joining
will
us.
see you guys next time. Cheers.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers,
And like I
guys.
always said, remember, relax and enjoy.
Absolutely.
Very
Thank you very
nice.
much.
Cheers,
man.
guys.
Cheers.